What's up? It's Jumanne. I recently uploaded a video called Forget About Your Friends and Family, and I don't want it to be taken too literally, but in a sense, if you're an independent like entrepreneur, whatever goals and dreams that you have, and you're like a loner, nobody's really supporting you, you might have to forget about your friends and family, because from an emotional level, that's going to drag you, because you're becoming dependent on people that you essentially might not be able to depend on at the moment or even at all. So one thing about life, it's not perfect. We live in an imperfect world, and a lot of times, if not most of the time, people are not going to support you until you're successful. But some people might say people are not going to support you until you support yourself. There's truth to that. What are you got to consider? There also has to be a sense of taking responsibility, where it's like, am I doing enough? What have I done for myself to make someone want to invest in me? Because they have time, energy, and resources that need to be considered too. So I shouldn't have expectation for people to support me, and I'm not really doing much for myself. There's truth to that, but then there's also another truth where people are just going to come around as soon as you become successful, and they just want to use you until you're useless. And when you're no longer successful, they're not going to build you back up once you fall. So you got to support yourself, and to have that expectation, okay, people, I don't even know what I'm saying right now, because this video is going to get into different directions where I want to talk about taking responsibility, but I'm also going to blame other people too. I'm going to point the finger, because a lot of people, for me, I'm a loner. It's always been like that for me. I remember just all my ideas and dreams and desires, nobody essentially supported it. And even with my bad ideas, as far as the controversy, a lot of people told me I was wrong, which I was wrong on a moral aspect, but a lot of people try to convince me that what I was doing could never work. Like, it's not gonna work, if you're gonna go to jail, da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, da-da-da, but what happens after that? Like, doors are gonna close, but other doors are gonna open. I'm not gonna get into that, because I learned not to argue that, because it's just, but the point is, I've never really had anyone tell me that I was right about anything. And when I look at that, I'm like, I'm being gaslighted and manipulated too. So I'm going to point the finger as well as take responsibility, because I know that I have a lot of narcissistic characteristics, and I've been self-centered too much. I've been, we all need to be selfish for our own interests and survival. But for me, I'm a different case. Like, I was definitely, and I'm still narcissistic, and I think it's genetic. I can't prove that, but I feel like even when I try to fight against myself with my entitlement, things that like I was always like that as a kid. And then as I started to learn and I started to fail and life humbled me, I was just like, you know what? I was the problem too. You know what I'm saying? I should have never felt that strong about myself and less of others, right? At the same time, I was wrong, but it doesn't mean that there were no truths into the things that I was saying. So again, I just want to clarify, like, when I decided to record this video, I was thinking about the video that I just uploaded, Forget About Your Friends and Family. A lot of people that are loners like myself, and I know I have a lot of people that watch me because they relate to me as a loner, and they have to do everything on their own, and they don't feel like nobody's there for them. When I say forget about your friends and family, it's take it more as put them to the side. You know what I mean? Don't forget about them completely, to the point where if you did become successful, you just completely forget about them. Some of them you might need, because first of all, you can't, it doesn't matter how successful you become. If you're not a billionaire, you're not going to be able to take everyone with you. You're not going to be able to support everyone. Like, even millionaires, people with $10, $20 million can't really sustainably support every 100 people, 50 people. Like, it's not really that possible. But what I'm saying is, what am I saying right now? Because my mind is in a lot of different places where I'm trying to make this positive. I'm trying to make this a more positive video about, independently doing things on your own and not having expectations for people to support you. But unfortunately, when you start to have some real progression, and if you become successful, a lot of the people that were not there, they're going to be right there. They're going to be right there. And There's going to be a sense of entitlement, envy, and that's just what comes with success. So you kind of have to pick and choose too on which people to forget completely, and which other people is like, oh, I do remember when you did this, I did remember when you did that. Because it took me time to kind of really better myself, because I was so angry, and I was angry at my own failures. I'm still angry, but I've come to peace with some things, you know, and I'm still fighting between myself, trying to just be a better version of myself. And like, you know what, if I do become successful, it's not like everybody was my enemy. You know, people are not going to support you the way that you want them to. I know they didn't for me. Ain't nobody validate me to the way I wanted them to. And for some people, they didn't validate me at all. I have to pick and choose and figure out, okay, and you know, okay, this person, I had good moments with that person. This person, you know, it's hard to really manage it, you know. So again, I'm trying to better myself. At the same time, whatever it is that you're doing, when it comes to your friends and family, when I just recorded that video, I was just trying to say, I have strangers that support me. You know, I was talking about my donations. I get so many donations. It's crazy. I had more than 25 donations, or I had about 25 donations within the last 2 days. And I'm like, I'm at a point where strangers are supporting me, not just financially, but I get messages from people that's like, yo, bro, keep your head up. I understand where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like, through the struggles, like, this is something that I'm at a point where I'm at a peak right now that is like, I feel like it's going higher. Like, it's increasing, but this is the most successful point of my life right now, currently, you know. And I decided to make that video where I said, you know, forget about your friends and family, but I don't want people to take it too literal, because it's easy to really do that. Because if you feel like people are not helping you at all, or they're not helping you enough, it just creates negative energy. And it's like, sometimes you're gonna have to be the bigger person. When you're the boss, when you're successful, you might have to be the better person. People might gaslight you and manipulate you, your friends and family. And when I say they're gonna do that by not taking responsibility. When you don't take responsibility in a relationship, and the things that you did wrong, or the things that you said wrong, or you're essentially gaslighting and manipulating if somebody has a point. So with me being at where I'm at right now, I'm successful how many people could say they got 25 people sending them money? Mind you, before I started going viral, I started with 0 subscribers. I had nothing. All I had was Facebook. You know what I mean? All my friends and family, I was telling them, I'm like, look, I got this crazy idea. This is when I started giving up. I dropped out of college. I'm gambling. I'm losing all my paychecks. I'm completely desperate. You know what I'm saying? I'm low. Like, I'm at my lowest point. And I'm like, I'm kind of like, yo, bro, I got an idea to do this and this. They like, what? Nah, bro, chill. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's just on the negative side. But even when I was, you know, when I was a rapper, when I was trying to play football, and I was trying to do independent films, you know, getting into the content creating, a lot of people was just like, yeah, bro, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But nobody was really trying to, and they're not going to, you know. My phone stopped recording. It said something about the storage as I was talking, which is probably a good thing, because I need to just end this video. Because I knew what I wanted to say, but I didn't know how I wanted to say it. And it got to the point where I'm just kind of just talking. So, like, I'm just doing too much talking. But overall, if you made it this far to the video, I appreciate it. Because I'm just kind of just being emotional and expressing myself. But again, I'm responding to the video I recently uploaded. If, you know, when it comes to friends and family and people supporting you, you know, you got to take responsibility. Make sure that you're doing the best that you can for yourself. And if you know you are, if you're really trying, you're giving 70, 80%, you know, because even, I'm just being realistic. No, because I know I haven't always gave 100%. But you know you're trying harder. You're trying, you know what I'm saying? And people are still not coming around. That's kind of life, you know. And, you know, you don't owe nobody anything. But sometimes people still might need you, and they might need you to support them, and you might just need to be the better person. So that's kind of what I wanted to say. Like, it's up to you. And I'm still kind of figuring that out too. If I do get to where I want to get to, or even bigger, like I'm a lot more humble now, and I'm not trying, like I said, I was narcissistic. I was trying to become like a billionaire like type stuff. But now I'm like, you know what? I'm more settled with just, if I got a couple 100,000, that's crazy to me, and I got income coming in. But I still, if I see an opportunity for a multi-million-dollar like lifestyle, I'll go for it, But if I was to manage that, if I was to somehow get that, there's a lot of people that I don't owe nobody nothing, and there's a lot of entitlement that comes with that. And do I still want to be a better person? Sometimes I feel like I do, and sometimes I feel like I don't, if I'm being honest. Maybe maybe I need to be a better person still. You know what I'm saying? So don't forget about your friends and family. Kind of just put them to the side.